Hey, I'm Roscoe and welcome back to Roscoe Reviews. Today I want to talk to you about pool covers. There are different types of pool covers. There are the solid pool covers that are weighted down by a tube that you fill with water around the edge, and there are mesh pool covers like the one you see behind me, and there are automatic pool covers that are quite pricey, and there's even some hard covers that can also be quite pricey. So on today's episode, we're going to talk about the differences between the solid tarp style pool covers and the mesh style like you see behind me here. In the description down below the video, I have linked the two kinds of pool cover that I would recommend personally, because they're the ones that I use and the ones that I like. But let me talk to you about the other kinds as well. There are benefits and drawbacks to both the kinds of pool covers that we're going to talk about today. The solid pool covers, the benefit to the solid pool cover is that one, they're very cheap. It's definitely the cheapest way to go. And two, since it's a solid pool cover, it keeps the dirt and dust and whatnot from getting into the pool better than the mesh ones do. So when you uncover the pool in the springtime, it turns out a lot cleaner. You don't have to clean it as much when you take the cover off. The downside to the solid pool covers is that they're not as safe. I wouldn't feel comfortable with one because if a child tripped on the tube that's around the edge and fell in, it could pull the cover in with it, making it difficult for the child to get out. So I would worry about that if it was on one of my pools. Another downside to the solid cover pools is the only thing holding it in place is the weighted tube that's around the edge. And so if the tube gets knocked in or there's a storm that causes the cover to kind of blow into the pool, it can be kind of a pain in the butt to get it out. Also, with the solid covers, it's basically just a big tarp that floats on top of the pool, and the rain collects on top of the tarp. So you have to put a pump out there in the middle of the pool to pump the water out so that it doesn't just continue to add water on top and pull the cover in to the pool. So having the pump out there is kind of a pain, especially when the water starts to freeze and stuff. The pumps can freeze and whatnot, and so I think that's just a pain. I prefer the mesh style. So the mesh style, the downsides are they are more expensive than the solid covers, the tarp style, but I think that the benefits outweigh the cost. The other downside to the mesh covers is since it's mesh, when it rains, any dust and dirt that's settled on top of the tarp or on top of the mesh here will run through into the pool. So when you uncover the pool, it looks kind of like a swamp in there until you get it all cleaned. It takes a little bit longer to clean it in the springtime when you open it up, but I don't think that's that big a deal. A couple extra hours for the added safety is great. The mesh style is held down to the concrete by anchors that are around the edge, and it keeps the tarp from being pulled into the pool. So if a child were to walk out there onto the mesh cover, it will sag down, and it may even get their feet wet and whatnot because it sags down into the water level, but it shouldn't pull off the edge. That's what they're for. It's a safety cover. So the two kinds of mesh cover that I'm going to recommend that I have linked down below this video in the description are the name brand one, which is the Loop-Loc. I have it on my apartment pool. It's lasted a very long time. It's very durable. I think the quality of the Loop-Loc is probably better than the Blue Wave that I have behind me. However, they cost twice as much. Now, is the Blue Wave half as good as the Loop-Loc? I think the Blue Wave is a good way to go. I don't think the Loop-Loc is twice as good as the Blue Wave for half the price. So I went with a Blue Wave at home. The only thing that I don't like about my Blue Wave is that it's a little bit reflective. So if you get the sun coming in like it is today and you get it at the wrong angle, it can be reflective in your eyes. The Blue Wave behind me is 2 seasons old, and I think it's held up really well. I expect to get at least 10 years out of it. So I think that it is very comparable to the Loop-Loc. Maybe won't last quite as long, but for half the price, I would go with the Blue Wave. But again, I've linked them both down below so that you can check out the specs on them. When you're ordering a cover for your pool, you want to order the size of your pool, and then the cover is actually larger than what it says on there. So if you have a pool that is 20 by 40, then you need to order the cover that says 20 by 40, and it will come 22 by 42 so that you can overlap the edges all by a foot. The Blue Waves, like you see behind me, come with all of the hardware to install them. The only thing that you'll need to have is a concrete drill bit, maybe a couple of concrete drill bits because there is a lot of holes, and a hammer drill. You can do it with a regular drill, but a hammer drill is worlds better. Thanks for watching my review of my pool cover. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you back here next time.